Not believe it. I am almost 60 years without €1 in my account. This is no lie. This is the truth. So for those of you who think everybody that is living abroad has money, that is a lie. It's not the truth. Most people abroad are suffering, have no money. Many are living in minus. You know what is minus? If you do not know, let me tell you. Many are owing the banks. Many have overdraft in their accounts. That is, they have no money in their accounts. But they will not tell you. Man, seems I wasted my years here. I'm not telling you lie, yo. It seems I wasted my years here abroad. You understand me? You see some people say, why not come home? How? Come home and do what? With what now? What am I? Am I going to go home empty-handed? Do you understand what I mean? Am I going to go home empty-handed? What do I have to my name?
Wow, that's a pretty sad situation to listen to, guys. Now, what do you think? Please do leave a comment on the comment section. Now, that's one of our brothers who is 60 years right now and has spent over 30 to 40 years outside Africa, and now is regretting and feels like he wasted all his life abroad and still has nothing to his name. Now, a lot of us are going through this, and most of us are not just saying it, you know, most of us are not sharing so people can understand, because there are people who have sold businesses in Africa to come to go abroad. There are people who have sold properties to go abroad, and they find themselves struggling to even get back to where they used to be when they were in Africa. Okay, so these are things that we want to share. These are things that is good to share. So to make people understand, even those who are in Africa, if you're in Africa and you are making certain type of income and you are already in your 30s or 40s, there's no need trying to go abroad, because you can still make it happen in Africa, especially right now. There's so much that you can do in Africa and make a lot of money. Before we really talk about what this brother is sharing, I want us to also listen to another African American brother and what he has to say, and then we're gonna come back and talk about this situation.
So much money out here for all of us, and I really do believe that, but what's keeping people from that money is being too lazy to obtain the knowledge. And it's like, why are we, like, they didn't teach us this in school, but the knowledge is still out there. I've taught myself this over the last 6 months by just being on YouTube videos, how to options trade, how to, you know what I'm saying, boom, boom, like doing my research on these companies, boom, and now, because I've had a portfolio, like, you know, with Morgan Stanley for like 10 plus years, and it's just like, I've always just put money in there, and they give me my 12% standard return on the yearly, but now I'm doing my own plays, and now my shit's going crazy because I'm paying attention. So what I'm seeing now is like, damn, like, this was just a matter of me not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that was keeping me from this bag right here, was just that I didn't know. So I'm like screaming off the mountaintop right now at this point in my life to all my people, like, get into these stocks, you know what I'm saying, before they find a way to lock us out, because there's so much money in it and it's so accessible nowadays. Like, get Robinhood. You don't got Robinhood on your phone, get Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? Go down the deep dive, go on Bar Chart, go on Bloomberg News, CNBC, see what's going on, tap in.
Listen to Wall Street Trapper.
Wall Street Trapper, Earn Your Leisure, Chris Sane,
John Hope Bryant,
Stock Brother. You know what I mean? These are pages that I follow. You know what I'm saying? People, brothers who have educated me. Shout out to Rashad, shout out to Troy, shout out to 19 Keys, you know what I'm saying? But like, this is serious. Like, my young people out there, like, this shit is serious. And it's like, the sooner you get in, the more like thankful you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when Bitcoin was at 8,000, and I was like, that's a lot for a stock. But I should have bought 5 of those right now. It was at 115,000 today.
So as we have seen, there are different perspectives to things, okay? There are different perspectives to things, so it just depends on where you are or what you know. So basically, I believe there is a disconnect between these two points of views or opinions, right? We have our African brother who is explaining how he has basically wasted his life abroad, right? And now he's 60 and really don't have anything to his name. And then we have another brother who is saying there's so much money out here for everybody, right? And so we should get it. It's all about the knowledge. Now, when this brother from Africa is explaining his situation, people might say, well, you wasted your life. Well, you didn't do this, or maybe you didn't save money, or maybe you didn't, go to school and get a good career to make a lot of money. But the truth is, there are a lot of people in this United States that went to school and that have a good job, but every single month, all the money they make, they spend it all. And so that's why on this channel, we are all about sharing wealth creation ideas, sharing information, and listening to those who are literally building wealth and looking outside the box of just a 9 to 5. Okay, so if we look at this situation, two brothers saying different, having different point of views, it all comes down to two things, in my opinion: information and acting on the information. Okay, now, if you do not have information, you would think things are hard. You would think everything is bad. But there are people who are literally making $10,000 a day. How are they making $10,000 a day? Information. They have an information that most of the other people don't have, or you don't have, or I don't have, right? Because how would you explain someone who is from Africa? Just giving an example, right? Someone from Africa, 30 years old, is making $100,000 a week, right? And then you have someone from Africa, 30 years old, and cannot have money to pay his rent. It's all about information. We have an African billionaire in the United States, the guy from Nigeria who created Calendly. He is a billionaire and he's from Africa. And he came to this country and struggled and built companies upon companies and failed until Calendly hit and made him a billionaire. He's no different from me. He's no different from you who also came to this country. We're all the same people. We all got intelligence. But it's all about information and acting on that information. Because America is truly a land of opportunity, but you need to know where the opportunities are. You need to know how to go get the opportunities. You are blessed to be in the United States and you have a job. The first thing we should be doing is investing in the markets, because we trust the country so much that we move here. We're bringing up our families here. We're having kids here. We are living here. We're buying homes here and everything here, right? So then why aren't we investing in the American economy? If we trust it so much, right? That's the first thing that is holding a lot of us back. Now, some of us might hear about stocks, never looked into it. Information. You've heard about stocks on TikTok. You've heard about the stock market on Facebook or somebody talking about it. That's information. But you never took the information and you never act upon the information. And some of us are thinking, well, when I start making a lot of money, when I start making some good income, then the extra I'll invest in the stocks. No, that's not how it actually works. It's when you make any money, you have to have a portion of that money first go to your investments, go to your stock portfolio, because you have to protect your future joy. So it's not a negotiable thing that if you start making a lot of money, then the extra you invest in stock. It doesn't work like that, and it would probably never happen if you are waiting to make a lot of money before you start investing in the stock market. It has to be a necessity. A particular amount of the money you make has to go automatically to your stock portfolio before anything else, before even sending the friends you have money in Africa. You have to put money in your stock. Those are the information that we don't have, or sometimes we have and we don't use it, right? If you think about how much money we've spent on dumb stuff, or popping bottles in the club, or buying bottles in the club, if you think about it from the time you came to the United States, the dumb stuff we do. I remember one time, I think that was in 2016, that I paid almost like $200 to put my name on my number plate. For what, right? For what? So when somebody drives behind me, they know that's my name. That was dumb expenditure. And what type of car was it? It was a Pontiac 2008. For what, right? Those are the things that we don't know, we don't understand. But that particular $200, if I had put it somewhere, adding it up there on top of the monies, on top of the money I spent in clubs, getting drunk and buying bottles that was useless, all those money would have added up to create me wealth, and it would have been compounding till today. If you put $1,000 on something and it's making you 10%, it's 10% of $1,000. When that $1,000 turns to $10,000 and it's making 10%, it's 10% of $10,000. That's the power of compounding effect. Okay, so those are some of the things that we are not used to. If we start making good money, the first thing we want to get $1 million home. We want to get a $600,000 home. It's not necessary, especially if we don't need it, because a lot of us, we buy these homes, we don't need them. We have to first of all learn how to invest our money before we spend the money. The return from the investment is supposed to be the one financing the luxury car. The return from the investment is supposed to be the one financing the luxury home. The return from the investment is supposed to be the one financing our luxury clothes and whatever we want to buy, or our travels and stuff like that. Those are some of the knowledge that we don't have as Africans, because we do not come from money. We have to face the fact we don't come from money, so we don't understand these things, and we have so much pressure within us. When we come to the United States, the people we meet and we see them driving luxury cars, living in $1 million homes, automatically in our minds we think they are wealthy. We think they have a lot of money. Okay, so now we are faced with the same pressure to do the same thing. It doesn't equate to being wealth savvy. Now, someone driving a luxury car or having a luxury car doesn't equate to him knowing what wealth is. Someone living in $1 million home doesn't equate to know how creating wealth works. Okay, so those are the things that we confuse. We think that because these guys drive these luxury cars, they live in these mansions, they know what wealth is. They have created wealth. But then ask yourself the question, why are they still going to work every single day? Why are they still doing overtime every single day? Okay, so those are certain things that we don't understand. It's not adding up. All that tells us is that we are not there. We don't understand how the American system works. And that's how we find ourselves in situations where we owe a lot of money, and we cannot even go to Africa and spend 3 months. We cannot even go to Africa and spend a month, because we got to come back and go back to work to pay for all these things. Like the brother was saying earlier, he is almost 60 and has none to his name. You could be working a really good job, but you are in so much debt to the point you have no money left to invest. You're so much in debt to the point you have no money left to really do a business. We have to understand that America is a capitalist country. Investments, business, inventing stuff, those are the things that will create wealth for us, not just the job. Shout out to my brother Midwest Container, who has a very brilliant idea called Innovations Incubator, where he will reach out to, or he reaches out to young talents in Africa, young talents or guys who have and are inventing stuff, are bringing up ideas that you can become yourself. If you have enough capital, you can be an angel investor to someone in Africa. You can be an angel investor to somebody who has a talent or who has a brand new idea that can create wealth for them and for yourself. And I will leave his TikTok account in the description, because I think every Saturday he has an exposition where he would expose a young talent who has something, or who have a brand new innovation or a brand new invention that he will show off on his channel. So those are the things that us as Africans living in America, we need to be doing. That's how we need to be thinking. It's all about investing and creating businesses and solving higher problems. There are people who have literally made millions and millions of dollars and wrote it down in a book how they did it, and we just don't pick those books to read it. Okay, most of the times when we read as Africans living here is when we're gonna take our exams in school. Okay, but which is not a bad thing, but there is so much materials that we can read that will change our mindset, and that will make us start thinking in the angle of creating wealth. And that's the main reason why I decided to create this channel as well. We have African sisters that can cook so good because of their special mixture, their special sauce. You can literally take that special sauce, develop it, and put it in the shelves of Walmart, and put it in the African restaurants, put it in the African stores, and develop it to the point that you can sit down with these big sauce companies and sell your company to them for millions of dollars. There is so much opportunity. We just need to sit down and look into this opportunity. We as African in the United States, and we're young, we are in the best position to create wealth. We're in the best position to make a difference and change the trajectory. We're in the best position to be free, because we can access information that we have today. All the platforms that we have today, we can literally use them to create wealth for ourselves, guys. So let's not be left behind. Let's not keep staying in our old ways. So let's wake up. Let's realize that we were in a box, and we can break out of that box and make a huge difference. My name is J06, and this was Well Caffeine. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check out our other videos and be inspired from those who are doing it. Be inspired, be motivated. I'll see you on the next video. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.